Mr. John Sims, my good fishing buddy. Now, I've been fishing with this guy for almost 20 years. Can I call you the king of Chante charters?
I hope so.
Or Chante charters?
Chante.
Chante. Don't ask me what Chante means. But anyways, we're down around Pelee Island. We're down around Kingsville in southwestern Ontario, north shore of Lake Erie. And we're after some small fish. Show them the small fish, okay? We're after perch. We took 50 already this morning, okay? The perch fishing here is phenomenal. Put the little guy down now. But we're also after some big guys. And we're after walleye, too. Now, listen, when you come fishing with this guy, this is a mixed bag fishery. This morning we got perch. You can put the big guy down now. This morning we got perch. Then we went for walleye. We got silver bass. And we even caught a catfish, right? But none of those, what's that thing that I was catching last year?
No sheepheads?
No sheephead this year. But anyway, stick with us because we're going fishing. We're around Pelee Island again, near Kingsville, Ontario, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. That's all I can say because it's 95 degrees in the heat here. Let's go and put these in the cooler and go fishing.
Okay.
I'm going fishing all the time, and my baby's going fishing too. Bet your life that your sweet wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish will bite if you got the right bait. Now here's a little something that I'd like to relate. With my pole and my line, I'm going fishing. Yes, I'm going fishing. My baby's going fishing too.
Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey is brought to you in part by Yamaha, reliability with every turn of the key. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. And by Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix. Closed captioning for Going Fishing is brought to you by Rapala, the makers of Canada's favorite fillet knives. There's nothing Choronzey loves more than to spend a day fishing with an old friend. In this case, the word old really rings true. Choronzey and good fishing buddy John Sim go back more than just a few years. John Sim operates Chante Charters out from both Kingsville, Ontario on the north shore of Lake Erie and also Pelee Island out near the middle of the big water. He's an angling ace and connects his customers with walleye, smallmouth bass, perch, and just about anything and everything else that swims below the surface of Erie. Well, today Choronzey and Sim are leaving the Kingsville dock and are making their way to the water surrounding Pelee. The perch are just starting to stage on the shoals, and the walleye are ever present, just waiting for a properly presented weight-forward spinner and worm. So stay with us as the boys go chasing the eyes of Erie.
I got another one. I just don't. You know, you're down 38 feet, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of tough to know the size of these fish. A little better. Okay.
Well, that's a nice fish.
Hey.
That's a keeper.
Now, what I've done, John, is
Yep.
I've added a touch of gulp. Twister tail?
Oh, yeah.
Right to the minnow.
Good.
You know?
Good.
So there's the gulp. I put the minnow on behind it, right?
Super. Yeah.
And
That's great.
it works. I'm just going to throw it in
Super.
there.
Yeah, that's a nice sized fish there.
Yeah, so I think the gulp, the smell attracts him.
Yeah, it could. It could. I haven't had a bite since I started, and
Then we'll see
you've
what happens.
caught a couple. So.
The gulp is going on with the minnow, and that's all there is to it, John.
Yep.
Mr. Sim. Does he feel like a whale?
Oh, he's a nice fish.
Nice fish?
Yes, nice fish.
John, you mentioned you've got, it is a nice perch, eh?
Yes,
okay.
that's a nice perch.
How do you class jumbos?
Jumbos are 11 inches and bigger.
Okay. What's the size that the commercials can sell? It's on a mesh size, right?
Yeah, it's mesh size, and I think they target 7.5 inches. I think that's what they target.
Now, you said this fishery, how big is that one?
So that guy is 9.
Okay,
He's 9
and you're saying a jumbo's what, bigger than 11?
11, yep.
Now, you mentioned something else. What are you calling that rig?
That's a jackfish rig.
Okay, and it's made by Red Wolf?
Made by Red Wolf, and what happens is as it goes down, you can see it's freewheeling here, and it doesn't tangle up, and the jewelry doesn't really bother the fish.
Yeah, and you think the steel doesn't bother him, and I like the red beads, right? And like on this one here, I've got a red gulp, a real fluorescent, and I got a white gulp, and it's working in unison with the minnows.
That's good.
You know?
Good. Perfect.
John
we go.
Sim. I'll tell you what, as fast as I can get it down. Now, we're in 38 feet of water, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Now, we'll let this guy go.
Yeah, that's a little smaller, that
But
fish, yeah.
if you're in 38 feet of water, and you look at the fish finder, right, and you're seeing fish all over the bottom,
Uh-huh.
like it doesn't take you long to get your 50 fish, am I right?
You're right.
It's really, it's kind of neat. Now, John, how many of your people want to come here and fish perch?
Well, I would say 25% of the people, and actually we're making more perch fishermen because they get their walleye right off the bat,
Yeah.
and they want something else to do because they've got their 8 hours fishing to do, so.
So you give them 8 hours worth of fishing, right?
Yep.
That's part of the contract, per
That's
se.
right.
And if they limit out in 3 hours, 4 hours with walleye,
Yep.
then they've got to have something else to do, so you can bring them out here and they
Yep.
can. Or is it vice versa too? They'll come out and they'll want to go perch fishing first.
Some would rather fish walleyes in the morning,
Yeah.
and
They're doing the opposite of what we're doing. We're fishing perch first, and then we're
Yep.
going to go walleye
yep,
fishing. Okay.
exactly.
John, I just wanted to do this show to show people that there's more to Lake Erie than walleye, right? There's more to
right.
Lake Erie than perch. There's more to Lake Erie than bass. It's an all-around fishery,
That's right.
and there's no reason why we can't come perch fishing in the morning like we're doing now, and then go for
That's right.
walleye later on in
Yep.
the daytime.
That's perfect.
I just gotta tell you, Mr. Sims, I see you up there on the front of the boat playing with the anchor, right?
Yeah,
We just may be on the glory hole. Now there's a jumbo.
You got one
You know,
there?
you're gonna drop the boat back a little, eh?
Well, actually, did you catch a fish there?
I just got one, but it's it was one in the last couple minutes.
Okay.
But these are ideal. I mean, these
Yep.
are perfect size perch. They're gonna fillet out easy, and they're gonna be great in the frying pan. And you can come up here, and you're not gonna catch one or two. You can come up here on days with John, and you're gonna catch 50 of these. You get 2 guys out here, you're gonna get 100 of these. You get 3 guys out here, you can get 150 of these. And remember, with the regular fishing license, you're allowed 50 perch on this section of Lake Erie. So you've got a lot of fine eating in the future. Nice perch.
There you go, Darryl. You got another
You
one.
want to know something? I don't know whether it's the gulp that's with that minnow, or whether it's, I've got gulp here,
Yep.
and I've got gulp there right in front of the minnow,
Uh-huh.
and it's working,
Yeah. Where'd your red one go? Did you take the red one
he
off?
took the red, no, he took the red one off.
Oh, he did, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not big enough for my frying pan.
Yeah,
all
that's
I
for
can
sure.
say.
And now for the Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix Campfire comment.
Dennis Bester, Owen Sound, Ontario. How many years have we known each other?
Since about 87,
Long time?
long time. When I moved up here, that was the first year of the Salmon Spectacular, and I think you were involved in that.
I think I started it, but besides that, don't even go there.
Where'd you get that shirt, by the way?
What do I look like, a frog?
A frog, a big frog.
Don't say that too loud, because every time I wear a loud shirt, like the green or a pink, Bob Azumi ends up wearing one the next year.
So what do you think about those TV hosts and all the other stuff that goes along with it?
Talking to magazine editors and the TV hosts.
Magazines, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, this one scares me, but I can say this, okay, because I'm starting to creep up into retirement age, pretty close.
Well, be careful.
What do you mean, be careful? No, I don't like being politically correct, and I've never really been politically correct. Now, you guys out there that are trying to do TV programs, or you are doing TV programs, or you're editors or publishers of magazines, listen, forget your sponsors for a minute. Worry about the fishery. I am getting so tired, and I'm not kidding, so tired of seeing some guys on TV, right? They actually change shirts 3 times a show. Like, who are we sponsoring today and who's paying the bills? Forget about whose patches you've got on or whose hats you got on. Worry about the darn fishery. And I've talked to some magazine guys in Ontario and on the East Coast and in BC, right? Oh, yeah, we're going to get tough. We don't like the Atlantic salmon program in Ontario, or we've got a problem with the commercial netters in BC, or we're not doing it right with the cod and the seal hunts in Newfoundland. But when it comes to putting it in print or talking about it on TV, they don't want to say it. While you guys that are standing on the front of bass boats with your 18 patches or your 2,000 patches and your 6 hats and your 3 shirts better understand something. You're catching fish. Yes, the sponsors are paying you, but if the fish aren't there, you're not going to have a TV show. Same thing goes with the magazine guys. Worry about the fishery, not your sponsors.
Tell it the way it is.
Did I say enough?
Tell it the way it is. That's
You
all
like my
gotta say.
green shirt?
I love that green shirt, and you do look good in it, Choronzey.
And you're not going to bore
I hope my
me.
wife's not watching this show.
Going Fishing returns with more action from the waters of Lake Erie.
John, listen. Look at this. It's a keeper, John. It's a keeper.
Good.
Now,
All right.
these are all nice perch. Like, we are getting some small ones. There's no two ways about it. But this is a nice average perch.
That's
okay?
yeah. That's a beautiful.
Like, if
perch.
you can get 50 perch like this,
Oh.
you've got a lot of...
Yeah. You don't mind cleaning out those perch.
I don't mind at all. Thanks, buddy. John, let me ask you something. You've got your classes out here like you've got your classes with your walleye. And John said something interesting to me a couple hours ago. You said the perch are back, right?
Right.
Why are the perch back?
The perch are back because the Ministry of Natural Resources has realized that our fishing was down. They changed some gill net size, a couple of spring fishing seasons, and let those fish go through and spawn. They were realizing.
So you say they changed some gill net size. I hate to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
but the audience doesn't know. What do you mean by they've changed some gill net sizes? They increased the size of the gill net?
Yeah, from 2 1/4 inch to 3 inch.
So it let the little guys swim through, is what you're saying.
And let the fish spawn. You know, and whereas the other way with the smaller mesh size, they couldn't spawn.
Okay.
They have to be 3 years old to spawn.
And you say they only did that for 3 years?
Yeah, I think it was 3 years was their program.
Okay, John, they did it for 3 years, and it proved a success. Then, if that's the case, and this is what I can't understand, they brought it up from, say, 2 1/4 or 2 3/4 to 3 inches,
Yeah.
right? Why don't they do that every year?
I have no idea. I have no idea. They think our fishery has rebounded enough to
Go back to the small
go
side?
back to the way it was before.
Common sense, though, to me, common sense, you think, would be to at least get 1 or 2 spawning seasons out of these perch,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
So I don't know why they don't leave it at 3. You
There we
got
go.
one there, buddy. There we go. I don't know why they do that. I mean, they do some funny things, the government. Now I'm going to put you on the hot seat while you're fighting that fish. If you and I break a major rule with the Ministry of Natural Resources, right?
Yep,
We can lose our license for a year.
we sure can.
Now, do the netters lose their license for a year?
No,
Or
they don't.
Or do you know of any instances?
No, they don't. No, all they do is they get slapped with a $1,500 to a $10,000 fine, and they can go back fishing tomorrow.
You know, John, I'm not being smart on this, and you live down here and I don't, you know. But I'm just saying, if they get caught doing a real gross injustice, they should lose their licenses for at least a year, you know.
Yeah, a slap on the wrist isn't good enough.
No, I don't know. We got such a great fishery. I'd like to see the mesh a little bigger all the time, and I'd like to see them treat it the same way as we are. If they really break a rule, then they should really pay for it.
I'd like to see no spring fishing at all for the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you let them have little ones,
Yep.
then the little ones are going to be big ones.
Okay. So you're saying protect that spawning period.
That's right.
Walleye and perch.
That's right.
You should be the Minister of Natural Resources. You know what? We moved from the perch, right? You
Yeah.
said, let's go for some walleye. I said, are walleye going to hit on a hot day like this? And you said, Pelee Island walleye hit anytime. Wasn't that
There's
it?
another nice one right here.
You got a dandy, eh?
Yeah. Oh, I got a good one.
Okay. Oh, look at this fish. Look at this fish.
It's a nice fish.
John, how far were we from the perch grounds?
We're about 5 miles from the perch grounds.
Okay.
Look at there. He's a nice
Now-
fish. Wow.
We probably took 40 perch.
Yep.
It got a little warm, okay?
Uh-huh.
I mean, more than a little warm. That's a nice hit. Now, that is a nice
fish. Yep.
He almost went back in. Now, okay, so where else can you go, though, and catch 40 or 50 perch in a couple hours, and then come back over here and get walleye like this?
Yeah. Well,
Now, is that a nice
it's the
fish?
second cast.
Nice,
know?
dandy fish. And we should say, before we go any farther, what was the name of that stupid rig for perch that Red Wolf makes?
That was a jackfish rig.
Jackfish rig. And now we're using something else. We're using an Erie Deary imitator that you make.
Yes, that's
Right?
right. You're right.
The guy doesn't sell them, and you've got to understand, we're doing something different here than you'll find anywhere else on Lake Erie for the most part, or at least on the Canadian side.
That's right.
Most of the Canadian guides, they troll, they use planer boards, you know, Lord knows what they use, but they don't let their customers cast to the fish for the most part. John lets his customers cast for the fish, and you get fish like that. Right?
Beauty.
It's a dandy fish. Okay, buddy, you take the fish. I'm going after a walleye.
Okie doke. We'll throw him in a box.
Nice fish. Mr. Sim.
Okay, I got to get the net here.
John, this feels like a good one, too.
It is a good one.
You know that? He feels like a dandy. Right off the bottom, John. Actually, it was halfway up. This fish was suspended. This is a nice fish. Look at the size of this.
He's a beauty.
You know what? He almost looked like a big pike there for a second.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Look at him. Look at him.
Oh, he's a nice fish.
Okay, John.
He's a nice fish.
I don't want to lose him at the boat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Mr. Walleye. Mr. Walleye.
He's a nice one. He's a nice one. He's a nice one. Look
Yeah?
at there. All right. Whoa.
Now, is this what you come to Pelee Island for?
That's what
Is
you
this
come
what
to
you come to
P for.
Kingsville for? You tell me. He just spit the hook, too.
Yeah.
But is that what you come for, or is that what you come for?
Look at that.
You know that? Now, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the Lawrence a little while ago.
Right.
We were in, what, 28 feet of water or something like that, 26? And you said, look at the fish finder, and the fish were all suspended.
Yep.
You know, they're a dandy-looking fish. Hey?
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah, he's an 02 year class.
Okay, so it's 2002 year class,
Yep.
and your big year class was 2003. Am I
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Okay, so there's still a lot of fish like this in the fishery still.
Yeah, there are. That's a nice fish.
Nice looking walleye. I'm going to put them on ice. Now, I want to ask you a
Okay,
couple things before we go any farther. I want to ask you, why didn't you go into the charter boat business with the downriggers and the planer boards?
Because I didn't like it. I wanted my customers to all experience the catch on the Erie Dairy.
Okay.
You're experiencing the bite.
You know, and I'm not being smart on this, and I'm sponsored by a downrigger company, but a lot of times, you know, you don't experience the bite when you're with, you know, the downriggers. You catch a lot of fish with downriggers, you catch a lot of fish with planer boards, but I'll tell you what, casting out with an Erie Dairy.
Yep.
And the countdown method, right?
Oh, that's the best way.
1001, 1002, and each 1,000 gives you a foot down. So you look at the fish finder, if they're down 15 feet, you make sure you're, 16, 17 and bringing that through them.
That's right.
Except with him, he starts talking and I lose my count real easy. But let's get a couple more walleye, and then we're going to, you choking, eh? Are you choking, eh? Let's get a couple more walleye, and then I want you to show them how to clean fish.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And then I want you to show them how we cook fish. And we've got a new batter, okay?
Perfect.
Let's go for it. No
Okey-doke.
problem.
And now for the Berkeley tip of the week. There's more to walleye fishing than trolling and bouncing plastic jigs along bottom. Countdown casting and retrieving is effective and fun. An easy technique to use, the countdown method covers a lot of territory and is lethal on walleye everywhere.
John Sim, hot, and I mean hot. I mean, it's 6 o'clock right now, and we've been playing around. We went for perch this morning and walleye this afternoon, and catfish and a bunch of other species, but this is paradise out here. I've got to say that. I've always loved Pelee Island. You know, the waters around it are fish rich. I mean, you got with a guy like you, what can I say?
For sure.
Pretty hot, buddy. Now listen, again, no telephone poles, no cable. We're running the rods and reels and the line to match the fish. The perch today, I've got a little Fenwick, right? And I've got the new 801 Abu Garcia reel.
Right.
And we've got 6 pound in its new fishing line. It's Trilene Max, right?
Yep.
But I've got 10 on this box. That's what we use for the walleye, but 6 pound for these guys. And what do you call that rig again?
This is a jackfish rig, and it's made by Berkeley. And we take the big hooks off and put our perch hooks on.
Okay, and it's under the Red Wolf brand. So
It's
we can
under
just
the
say-
Red Wolf brand,
Now,
yeah.
we use minnows today for the perch, but every time I go perch fishing, I put a little bit of gulp on. These are gulp twister tails, but, you know,
Yep.
gulp tails, we're just going to call them. I ran also the gulp jigs, but we're running gulp with the minnows, and it comes in a ton of varieties, you know,
Right.
and it catches a lot of fish. Now, you can set that down, just so
Okay,
you,
yep.
I don't want you carrying anything too heavy. You know. Okay, then we went to the walleye, and these are called the John Sims creation, am I right?
Yep, you're right.
They really are. They're an Erie Dairy knockoff, right?
Exactly.
And you do see them in tackle shops. You see them in Canadian Tire. And all they are is a weight-forward spinner. It's got the weight up front. You take the dew worm and you put it on that hook at the back, okay? And you've already described how you do it. You put it through the nose
Right.
of the worm and then put it through the collar, so you've got it double hooked. But you got to remember, you cast out, and it's 1001, 1002, 1003, and again, if you've got your Lawrence or your Eagle, you know where the fish are. Every second, it drops
That's right.
pretty close to it, right? Again, same thing with the walleye rods. You know, I ran 10-pound tests, got a Techna rod, right, by Fenwick.
Nice one, yep.
Yeah, and the Abu Garcia 801 reels. Now, we really give the 801s a workout today.
Yeah, we did. We sure
You know?
did. Yep.
John, I got to say thank you. I mean, and you people out there, if you get the chance, and I'll probably say it after shore lunch, get out to Kingsville, Ontario, southwestern Ontario, north shore of Lake Erie. John will either fish with you off the shoreline there or out here at Pelee, right?
That's right.
Pelee's pretty. How far are we from shore?
Oh, 14 miles.
John, it's been a treat. Now you're going to have to work. I mean, I've done a lot of the work today. I'm sweated up a pretty good storm, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go back and show us how to clean fish, and I'm going to show
sure.
you a great batter. How's that?
Great.
Or a coating mix. I don't know which one I want to do right now.
Perfect.
Let's go to shore. Stick with us.
Going fishing returns with the Napoleon Barbecues Shore Lunch.
Mr. Sim, thank you very much for a fantastic day on the water.
Thank you, Darryl. But what the heck is this stuff?
Can't you read English? Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman Breading and Batter Mix. Now listen, we spent a lot of time developing this, and it is excellent. Listen, I'll tell you what, drop these. Now these fillets are moistened,
Okay.
so drop the fillets in the bag.
All right. These are those perch
Okay.
that we caught. And I kind of double filleted the walleye because they're kind of thick. So
Okay.
we want them to cook nice and universal.
Okay, now I'm gonna shake this up. You wanna make sure they're covered, right? And then you shake off the excess, right?
Right.
Oh, that's good and hot.
Oh, there you go. That
There's
is
perch.
good and
You
hot.
see how that
Yep.
perch just floated up?
Yep.
There's a walleye. John Sims. Now I'm gonna call you the king of the Lake Erie charter boat captains. How's that?
Thanks. I needed that.
Listen again, if you get the chance, get down to Kingsville, fish the North Shore of Lake Erie or around Pelee Island with John Sims. Chante Charters, right?
That's right.
And your website is what?
www.chantecharters.com.
Okay. Now, before we do any more, I'm gonna try a piece of perch. And no utensils required. Go ahead.
Hey. Boy, that's got a unique taste. It really has.
Especially when it's hot out of the frying pan like that.
For sure. For sure.
What do you like better, walleye or perch?
I'm kind of partial. I like perch.
Yeah, I like perch, but
Yep.
I never turn down a nicely filleted walleye fillet. You know, so you can keep cleaning for me.
Yeah.
But again, if you get the chance, make tracks down to Kingsville, get out with this guy, and you'll enjoy a day of multi-species fishing around Pelee Island. Again, John, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Again,
Darryl.
no utensils required.
You're right.
For more information on today's fishing location and other going fishing destinations, visit goingfishingtv.com. Going Fishing with Darryl Choronzey has been brought to you in part by Yamaha, reliability with every turn of the key. Abu Garcia, for life. Berkeley, catch more fish. G3 Boats, a Yamaha boat company. And by Darryl Choronzey's Canadian Fisherman's Breading and Batter Mix.
Going fishing.
Going Fishing would like to thank the following fine sponsors.
Baby smiling